Hello and welcome. You're viewing the Citizens Journalist podcast, Mesa County Compass, that brings you the news that you can use from a different point of view. I'm Ruth.
I'm Lisa.
And together we are Mesa County Compass. Our goal is to create an informed, current, active citizenry armed with the facts. We will be covering what's new to you, what it means to you, what you can do about it, and provide you access to the decision makers when we can.
Dang, y'all smoked up the room. How old are you today?
Whatever's on there.
37.
32, because that's all that was lit.
Okay. I'm still 29 in my mind, so. My body had a child, 37. How old are you?
Start again.
So this is Sydney.
Hi, Sydney.
And we have rotation of CMU nursing students that come through and do clinicals here. And so today she's been here. So have you enjoyed it?
I have.
Yeah, she's learned a lot, she said. That's what she said. So we try to make sure that they see all the different departments, all the different areas that we have here. So she got to go to Golden Girls, she was in day shelter, spent a little time with me, and got to witness a birthday party.
Yeah.
It's a great day.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
nice.
Very
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So what was the most outstanding thing to you in working with these people?
I got to see a new lady come in, and I got to see that process of getting her into the system. And I like to see that.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and seeing what they can do for her
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
When do you
good.
graduate?
in a year, next May.
All right.
Ah,
Very
wonderful.
nice.
Yay.
Very nice. Yes. Well, thank you for letting us talk to you. We just thought it's nice for people to see where you are, what you do, what you have, and to support animals. I would give them their own podcast.
You know, they really are life-changing.
Can we take Max?
No, we can end podcast.
Yeah. You guys want to say anything?
Max will tell you.
Yes, Max, you're so handsome. And Molly, you're just a cutie pie.
Hey, sweetheart.
She's like, I'm here too.
I'm here too. Hi.
Normally, people can't even walk up to me without Molly getting their name, address, and a social security number. She goes from background check on everyone.
Oh,
She's very protective.
what
She's
is
very
cute.
protective.
This is a beautiful building, Mona.
Thank you very much. So it's taken about 6 years for us to completely transform this building into what our vision was.
And what was your vision?
To make it feel like home, not too institutionalized, but comfortable. We want people to feel safe when they come here. We want them to feel at home. And the whole concept is that it would build their confidence and their desire to have a home. And I'll show you the kitchen and why we have dining room tables and those kind of things. Pretty good. So this is our dining room area, and so every day, Tuesday through Friday, we serve home cooked meals every day. Today was meatloaf and carrots and mashed potatoes, but we love the concept of families and people being able to interact and eat at a table as if they were at home. And that's the whole purpose of this.
Yeah. So when do you serve?
Every
You
day
said
at noon.
Tuesday at noon.
Yep,
Okay.
every day at noon.
And how many people do you usually serve?
Anywhere from 30 to 60, it varies.
Oh my God.
30 to 60 in here?
And if we get up to that high number, we pull out tables, the 6-foot tables, and we put chairs around that so they can eat out there as well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And
we
the
have
chairs are
picnic
beautiful.
tables outside so they
Oh.
can eat out there too as well.
Oh, good. And I see you have a lot of children's books. You got to get over here by me. And things for kids to play with over here.
Yes, ma'am. So we get a lot of families in here during the daytime, and so again, we want it to feel safe. We want it to feel comfortable for them. So we do have a play area, and some days, I'm telling you, it's a mess in here, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And of course, they can watch movies. We do that too as well. So as the parents are either on the computer, I'll show you our workstation.
Okay.
It's gonna be busy, so I hope you don't mind.
Oh, we like busy. We want people to be busy.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So over here, our workstation, people can come on. They can do a self-referral. Doesn't always have to be a referral from an agency or someone else. They can walk in and do their own referral. That goes directly to our intake specialists. We call them in right away and start the intake process. They can also get on here for looking for jobs. They're signing up for services, looking for housing, whatever it is that they need, resume writing, whatever they need computers for, they have access right here.
So tell us what a SEP referral is and how that works.
So
Is that
what a
you said?
self-referral is, they're needing services. And so the way we can measure and the way that we get our numbers is that they have to be in our system, right? And so they can go here, they can hit the referral button. Let's see. I wouldn't know. Okay, there we go. And so they put their information in here, and then once they submit it, it goes directly to us. And so it gives us a heads up of exactly what they're expecting, what they're needing. Sometimes they're looking for housing, sometimes it's jobs, sometimes it's financial assistance. I need car repair. You know, this gives us a heads up. So when the referrals come in, we know exactly what they're needing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you think people know about you and come here? Is it word of mouth, do you think?
A lot of word of mouth. We have a lot of our partners that will refer them to us, other agencies in the community. A lot of times, you know, they've seen our commercial. I don't know. But I would say probably 85% is word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they say it's a great place to come for help, and
Yes.
you're going to feel at home, and you're going to feel safe, and you're going to feel loved.
Yeah, yeah.
Very definitely.
Yeah. Perfect. So through here we have, it's just offices back here.
Okay.
We have about 10 programs now that we're offering. And so we have 2 financial programs. We have the Day Center. We have IFS, our Integrated Financial Services Program, that we are servicing now 14 counties in Colorado and growing. And so that has a 98% success rate. So we're able to come on as their payee. They get Social Security benefits, whereas they have to have a payee, and the court has ordered it. And these individuals either have substance abuse issues, mental health issues, and they can't manage their own money. So we started a program that addresses just that.
Excellent. Excellent.
So tell us the 10 programs again, because I don't think we caught all of them.
I'm going to see if I can think of
Yeah.
all of them. We have Day Center, we have IFS, but the representative payee, that's about 5 of those, because we also do conservatorship, guardianship, and we do budget counseling as well. We have our Joseph Center Adult Advocacy Program, and that is like CASA, but for the adults. So when the kids have been taken, we come along and assist the parent with their treatment plan. So we help them find a job, find a home, get into rehab, whatever is needed, because our hopes is for the reunification of the family. And so we started that program. Now we're getting ready to launch in about a week is our new family center, and y'all have to come back when we open that.
We will.
And the new family center is really for those in the breach. They've been to domestic violence shelter, but home's not an option, so there's this gap. And so we'll be able to house 12 in that part of the building, and then the other side of that building, we're starting a new program for homeless pregnant women. And they will all get wraparound services. They're going to get medical, they're going to get counseling, whatever is needed. The goal for every program we have is permanent housing that's sustainable. And so to do that, you have to take care of the whole person. You can't just put an untreated mental health person in housing because it's not going to work, right?
Right.
And so they'll be right back. So we want to address all the issues. We want to put healthy people back into our community. So I always say, if we do our job right, they don't come back.
That's
Excellent.
And we
Excellent.
just now expanded our Golden Girls program to 15 beds. Yeah.
Really?
So we're
Oh,
thrilled about that,
fantastic.
too.
You know,
We've
the
already
last time
have-
I was here, which was been several years ago, you only had 3.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a
That's
while.
Right, yeah, it's right after you first really opened the doors,
Yeah.
before you got your award, everything.
Yes, ma'am.
It's-
It's been a while.
it's been a while. It's fantastic.
Once again, we hit another gear. And so just trying to keep up with that. But sometimes you got to slow down to speed up, if that makes any sense.
does.
And so we have 15 on staff and about 10 volunteers. And we have 4 that work through the Colorado CSET program. So it's a state-funded program for individuals 55 and older, and they get internship and training on new job skills. And so we have 4 of those in that program.
Wow, fantastic.
It is. It is.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Yeah. So now this rack, if I were coming in here, I saw that you have to ring the bell after 1. And why is that? And
So
what's the difference?
we allow all our guests to come in between 9 and 1 o'clock. They get lunch, they get services, intakes. That after 1 o'clock is our time to do paperwork, to answer our emails. We have to have that time to decompress and get our work done as well. Because if not, we'd be steady the whole day. And so it's kind of hard to, and we all pitch in where is needed. I mean, we stay in our lanes, but you may come in here in any given day and I'm scrubbing toilets or I'm in the kitchen helping. It just depends. I always tell my staff, I'm not asking you to do anything I wouldn't do, but they're dynamic. I have the most incredible team, I would say, ever.
And so are your staff then, are they paid employees? And then you have
15 are.
volunteers?
15
That's
are,
very nice.
yeah.
So what do your employees, what are their lanes that they have?
So we have the kitchen crew, and they do the food pantry. We have our donations coordinator. She coordinates all the in-kind donations. She's amazing. We have base shelter team, security. We have our team that's up front that's doing it, you know, the front desk type of stuff. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I'm really tired.
The intake and
Yeah,
that.
and so we have our family center staff, Golden Girls staff, and of course integrated financial services staff. Yeah.
So if anybody were to bring you, would you accept clothing donations and
So we don't
things like
accept
that?
clothes.
Okay.
We only accept clothes for one program. We have a volunteer that comes in, and it's called Clothes for Confidence, and they have to be work attire, right? And so she takes them home, she steam cleans them all, and then that program she helps them with mock interviews, writing their resumes, and then gets them ready for their job interviews. And so
Nice.
we had to expand our food pantry, so we've partnered with Art Thrift Store, and so we ask people to take clothes there, and then we get quarterly. Have a good night. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. We have a quarterly, they give us vouchers. And so we're able to give our guests vouchers, and then that way they can shop and pick what they want
And what fits.
and what fits and their style or whatever. So it's been a very good exchange for us with our
Excellent.
thrift store. Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
So when you said the day center, that's different than the day center for Catholic Outreach, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So our day center, when we originally started in 2015, we did a feasibility study throughout Grand Junction and wanted to know what was missing, what are some of the gaps in our community. Now, at that time, there was no place for families during the day. So they leave the shelter at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is why we see moms in Walmart. We've seen them at McDonald's or riding GBT all day. Very stressful on a baby in a car seat and a stroller all day. And so that was our very first program. They were able to come in, breakfast, lunch, shower, laundry, and we felt like we could do more for them. And so over time, we now have Pathways Family Shelter, we have, Catholic Outreach Day Center. We have programs in place, but we still allow people to come in here during the day and get the services they need. And while they're here, they can receive lunch and food boxes, toiletries, whatever those needs are. We try to meet them as best we can.
Excellent.
And I noticed you had a stage back here. Talk to me about what that's.
Because I sing.
Well, I knew you sang, but do you play the drums too during the day?
No, I do not. So that's the only other thing in the evenings. We want to start doing some music sets. I'm working with a young man right now who wants to start a junior music camp. And so young people that, to keep them out of trouble, we'd like to start working with them as well.
Excellent. Well, let's go back in your office.
Here, so you might have to do a part A and a part B, and
You bet.
get you over to the new Golden Girls facility, and get you over to the new Family Center so we can show you. We've done a lot of work.
Is it all here on this block?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I need a golf cart though. Anybody want to buy me a golf
Yeah,
cart?
there you go.
So-
You can have one.
Because
bet
walking
there's
over there is like,
somebody.
I'm coming, and then somebody else, meet me in the middle. So,
We'll get you a
Now, we
little
just
golf
need a
cart.
scooter
Not
for you.
little scooter,
or
yeah.
a scooter.
Yes.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
no.
But it would be easier. So when I have guests like you, I'm able to take
Show
you
them
around
around.
and
Right.
and it'd be fun.
Well, I think the what I've seen so far, and is just that it does feel very welcoming. So how do you think this is different than like the resource center? Do you think that there are, and with them wanting to move, are you thinking that's a good idea? Because I personally think we could use resources in a different way than just creating another day center. Or do you think it has a place?
I think it does have a place, but I think it's in the way that it's executed. And so the way the programs have to be laid out, right? So one of my biggest things is program. It's got to be designed in a way where it is effective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, for instance, if you came earlier and you've seen people coming into the day center, we do bag checks.
Mm-hmm.
That is mandatory that we do bag checks because we're not allowing weapons or drugs into the facility. Why? Because we have children.
Right.
And for the safety of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We also do an immediate background check upon sign-in because we're not, we don't allow sex offenders or people who are registered, pedophiles or things like that because we have children.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do have an option for them, and we have another part of the building where they can go into and get the services that they need as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's completely separated, so there's no line of sight of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
So, to answer your question, if the program is designed and laid out, but you have to focus on the population that you're serving.
Right.
Exactly.
And so one of the biggest problems I think that we have that's universal when we worked with homeless individuals is really you have to go in, and I hate to use this term, I don't know another one, is to really separate the herd. So you want these different populations and then you create models for each population so that they're getting the complete and total services that they need. You cannot combine them all in one and use a cookie cutter program and expect the same differences. It just does not work. That's why we have 10 programs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably part of the reason why this failed in the first place. It was just the way it was set up. I agree.
I think
with
it
you.
was done super fast. Not really. I think there was some thought, but not a whole lot, right? And so whenever you feel like you have to, you got to do something right now, I always tell my staff, always respond and never react.
Good.
And so there's a
Nice
difference when you are reacting versus responding. Responding takes a little bit more time. You can process it through. What are the consequences? What are the, what's going to happen here? And what's the outcome we desire? But a reaction, you just go for it, and throw caution to the wind. And sometimes it's not a good deal.
I think that's what's happened all along with Whitman Park closing, the way it closed abruptly and then thrown onto the resource center, which was not equipped to handle what they got. So it just, it was one bad decision after another at that point. I think now maybe they have time to reverse that and think about it and find a
Absolutely.
good place for it to go.
Absolutely.
I hope.
I have a meeting scheduled with Faith Rodriguez from United Way, and she reached out to me today. And it, I love problem solving. I mean, I get to do it every day. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's one of the things I like to do. And even today, seeing some of the cases that came in, very unusual, but being able to think outside of the box, being able to execute something and feel good about it at the same time, although it may not be common. We're unconventional, and that's okay because you're going to get the same deliverables. Even if you know what I'm saying, it just looks different. So it's kind of like the story of David and Goliath.
Oh yes.
And so when David said, "I will fight him," and King Saul was looking at this kid, and then he says, "Okay, well then you have to wear my armor," because all the soldiers, everybody wore that armor, and David puts it on, and he said, "I can't operate with this. This is not me. I have to do this my way." So that's kind of how I am. I've tried other people's armors. I've tried to be like everybody else. It just doesn't fit, and it doesn't work for me. But I'm going to give you the same deliverables that you are expecting and that you want to see in our community. We just do it unconventional. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't.
So I guess maybe last time we asked you, but what's your background for doing all of this?
I've had 30 years experience in nonprofit.
Okay.
And so that's kind of lived experience is my background. I was a music major. I was a performing arts major in school. I got a full ride scholarship on music, and this is where I end up.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
It is very interesting, and I love what I do because I love people. And Joseph Center really from the beginning, I've wanted to do it for so long, but the problem was I had no money, I had no, all of this, and then 8 years of sitting on this idea gives you a lot of time to process what this needs to look like and what I'm going to need, and it still took its own shape.
Right. Like people writing a book.
Yeah.
What does the character want to do and want to be? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But it was cool because I was telling my staff from the very beginning, we would allow the community to dictate what it needed. And so it's not like we sit around the table and go, "Oh, this is a great idea. Let's do this, let's do that." There is a face behind every program that we have. And so this issue pops up, this problem, this gap, call it what you want, pops up, and then we vet it. And then it's like, no one else is doing this? Okay, that's how Golden Girls Project got started. That's how Integrated Financial Services got started. This is originally how the Day Center got started. JCAP got started that way. I mean, all of our programs started because we saw a need, and then that need repeated itself at least 3 to 4 times.
Can we clone you?
You don't want to, I'm telling you.
Oh yes.
I don't think you want to. It's not. I make it look easy. I never said it was.
No, that's true.
And that's probably another talent of mine because I make it look easy. I'm not saying that it is. And then but we in Mesa County, if I can interject here,
Sure.
Mesa County is probably one of the most blessed counties, if not in the state of Colorado, if not in the nation. We have more resources and innovative programs, and we have all of that. And my dream is to see it all work like a well-oiled machine. And if we could do that, we wouldn't have the problems that we're talking about today.
You are 100% correct there.
We would not
100%.
have these problems. We wouldn't have a homeless problem. We wouldn't have a housing problem. We wouldn't have a drug problem. I mean, they're going to be there, but if you have a tight enough system that is working correctly, and we're all working together, it's going to eliminate a lot of it.
Yes.
And so because we've got this time right now where they're saying we're going to step back, we're going to take 90 days on the Resource Center. What would you like to see happen during that 90 days and beyond?
Wow. That's a good question. I guess because I'm not at these tables anymore like I used to be.
Do you think you should, though?
A lot of people do. That's a tough question. I would love to be there, but I am a boots on the ground girl. I want to get stuff done. I love the brainstorming. I love hearing other people's ideas, but I'm ready to execute. And that's probably my issue right there is that, okay, are we ready to do this? And I'm a right now kind of person. And the reason I say that is because the people that come in here, they need my help right now. They need Joseph Center's help right now. They don't have time for me to go have 12 meetings and then come back and try to address the issue. The eviction notice is now. The domestic violence is now. I want help. so many people, probably maybe in over 10 years that we've been up and running, I would say probably about 10 people have come in and said, I want off the drugs now.
Okay.
I need help. We strike while the iron is hot. That's how I believe. And we've had to drop everything and take them to Denver because that's where the bed was. And so, you know, we will do what we have to do, again, being unconventional, making things happen.
You take them to Denver. So if you don't have the facilities here and you know there's something over there, you make sure that they get help in that way then.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not we're trying to do this on a shirt string.
No,
shoestring,
you
shirt string. Well,
have
anyway.
like again, you strike while the iron is hot. We've literally relocated families and individuals back to their original homes that are not from Colorado or Mesa County. We've probably relocated to about 8 states.
Wow.
Interesting. Very interesting. Because that's stuff that people just don't know.
No.
When they drive by and see the Joseph Centers, oh well. And
Everybody thinks we're down here singing Kumbaya and feeding the homeless. That's pretty much it. But we have an open door policy. Please come down. We want to give you a tour. We want to tell you about our programs. We want to share what we're doing. We're actually starting a YouTube series, and I'm going to be having coffee with our guests who have graduated in our permanent housing.
wonderful.
We're going to be interviewing staff members. We have a lot of staff that have lived experiences, and so
that is
actually
so important to get across to people.
Yeah.
That these people were here. And now they're here.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's the goal for everybody, because
That's it.
nobody is living this perfect life that has no problems, no issues, and some of it, in my case, is self-inflicted. You
Right,
know,
exactly.
I made the choice, and I'm thinking, okay, now what do I do? Because
Exactly.
I created something, and
But
I need
you
help.
know, it changes when you have someone who is willing to walk that walk with you. We don't do the work for you. You know, our staff will tell you in a minute. They'll tell the guests, I'm not going to work harder than you,
Right.
but I am here for you. We don't judge when they fall. It's I care about you getting back up. Everybody's going to make a mistake. I think it's understanding when and how to extend grace. You know, and at some point you do. You know, and it's a life changer. It changes the dynamics. It's a complete game changer. Sometimes the smallest thing.
If you can walk them through that when they do fall, and you can say, okay, now why did you fall? And what can you do about that? And how can I help? Then it's a whole different thing than just throwing stuff at them and saying,
Absolutely.
this is it, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like every single person that comes through these doors is on the up and up either. But we hold accountability too. And so there are situations where I remember we had a couple that came in and they needed help with rent and deposit, I think. And I said, okay, do you have jobs? Oh, yeah, we got jobs. Okay, well, if you can save at least half, I'll match it. You know, put a little bit of responsibility back on them, give them some stake in the game. And so it made a world of difference for them, and they were so proud, you know, and they've put in on this. So we're working together as a team and not just me saying, oh, here you go, here's the money. Sometimes it does happen that way, but we vet everything. And again, holding them accountable. I can tell you story after story after story of situations where, you know, we've had to hold people accountable for what they're doing.
Which is, it's life. You have to stand up for what you did and what you were for. And
you and I will have to be held accountable for everything that we're doing, right? And so if I'm speeding, I'm going to get a speeding ticket. I got to go face the judge. I have to hold myself accountable for what I did wrong.
Right.
And that's only fair, right? That's a universal law kind of thing. So I think it helps people grow. It helps people develop a better character, and there's we've seen some amazing transformations.
Oh, I'm sure
amazing. A lot of my staff were clients.
Excellent.
Yeah, and now they're rock stars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they know, you know, it's that idea that you've been given a situation so that you can help somebody else along the way, because you understand where I might not have the same problem, and I don't understand it.
Exactly. And so there's a difference between empathy and sympathy, right? And so you learn to kind of operate in both, but there's balance in everything too.
And do you teach your people all these things? Because you just...
My staff will tell you that I'm always teaching. They will say that. I don't realize it, but they're like, you don't realize it, but you're always teaching us, you know. And sometimes I'll be talking to one, and then here comes someone else, and then before you know it, we got a class going on. You know, and it's like, who's working? But that's okay. That's okay. We do that. But I really feel right now that Grand Junction, Mesa County, we are turning a corner. Okay. And I feel good about it. I think we got a lot of key people. We got new city council. We got new positions and different people coming in with fresh ideas and have an understanding of what is actually going on. And I think that we are turning a corner in that sense. Now, is it going to be a sharp turn? I don't think so. And that's not safe anyway. We just talked about that, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
we want to do it slow and right. You know, the old fable with the rabbit and the hare, right? Slow and easy wins the race.
Right.
Exactly.
And
right.
I think that's the pace that we need to go. Slow and easy wins the race.
Excellent.
So, what about, I heard you talking about behavioral health, and you said, I have a space for you in behavioral health. How, I could see your little mind worrying. What were you seeing in that area?
I think that the one thing I look for in a person outside of their education experience and all of that, which is dynamic and needed, right? We want experts doing these jobs. What's lacking is passion. And her eyes lit up when she said, I really want to work in behavioral health. There's something there. And we really need to draw on that. Does that answer your question a little bit? So for her, I'm meeting more of those people. Yeah, I'm meeting more of those people who are already established, who are already educated and trained in this, and they too have a passion. So I think it's about when you find your tribe, it just makes things a lot easier.
Something other than a paycheck.
Other than a paycheck, yeah. We're still lacking that. I was talking to a physician in Denver. She has taken care of one of our guests, and she's in the hospital there, and she called me, and we were talking, and she goes, who's the Joseph, Sarah? What do you do? So as I'm talking to her, she goes, I'm on your website. This is crazy. And one of the things she said to me, she said, thank you for giving me hope again in humanity. She's a physician, right? And I'm like, you save lives every day. And she goes, not like you do.
Right.
I only see them when they're sick, you know. And so we had this great narrative going back and forth, and it was very encouraging for me too.
The thing about it is, you do see them when they're sick as well, but that sickness isn't necessarily apparent.
Exactly. And that's the sad thing, right? When we talk about mental health and behavioral health issues, you can't see it. So it's not looked at like you can see other sicknesses. You can literally physically see other diseases, but that one you can't see. So it makes it real hard to understand that it's real.
And it doesn't always manifest itself.
No.
So that area is kind of been, with the Mind Springs gone. Are you seeing something to replace it?
So
be
West
more
Springs,
positive?
West Springs is closed. The hospital, Mind Springs remains open.
Okay.
And so Health Solutions came in, and now it's Health Solutions West is the new name. It's no longer Mind Springs, but Health Solutions West. And again, I do feel like we're turning a corner
On that.
Wonderful.
And that there will be opportunities for people.
Absolutely,
So exciting.
it is.
Because before, to me, I saw a black hole.
Sure.
Because with West Springs closing, I thought, oh my God.
Well, I think we all did, and I think every professional, every leader in our community, I think we all saw a black hole there for a second, and that was kind of my prayer, was like, God, please let this go fast, close this gap as soon as you can, because we know the need.
Right.
We know the need, and I believe my prayers were answered because, someone stepped in, and I think it's going to be a good thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm
Good.
glad to hear that. What a relief, actually. Really is.
It better be a good thing. I'm just kidding.
After
I
you
done already
prayed
put
for
it out there
and
now.
said
I've
it was a
already
good
put it
thing.
out there.
Yes,
So
yes.
I do. I remain hopeful in that. And it's kind of like okay, And there's nothing wrong with starting over. It's just that's how we learn, right? That's how we learn.
That's right.
And so starting over is not a bad thing. And that's why I go back to saying slow and easy wins the race. You know, I don't expect these amazing changes like right away because they have to get acclimated and know their community, know their clientele, know their partners, and build those relationships, right? And at the same time, they're executing their way, their style, their techniques, and how they treat and help and assist those with mental health and behavioral health issues.
So
Perfect.
your website is out there. Would you encourage people to do? I mean, I would love to talk to all of your people that work here and
Yeah.
have been clients. Because when you were doing the YouTube, I'm going, no, don't you do it. We want to
Okay,
do
you
that.
do it.
We want to talk to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're, you know, I have such a dynamic team. I call them my dream team, right? And they are all dynamic in their own right. And I think the key to that is you put the right person where they shine. And if you try to keep putting a square peg in a round hole, it just doesn't work. But everybody fits where they're at, and I think that's what makes the difference. And there's such a peace here. And they all feel that, and they love what they do, and that's very encouraging.
You can feel it when you walk in the door,
can.
Mona. There is a definite aura about this place that just so comfortable.
You're gonna make me cry. Thank you.
Well, no, and
Because that's
it's,
what we want.
How
Yeah.
can we replicate that and expand it and make it, you know, more universal? Because I know you have good relationships with Catholic Outreach
Sure.
and with the Day Center with Jody, and I know with Laurel Cole that, you know, you're all doing the most good.
Yeah.
And
And there's more
And
of us, right?
well, and that's who we're wondering, how do we get everybody doing the most good in their area? How do we achieve that for
I
our
think
community?
I think it's starting. I really do. That we're going that route. When we Xavier Crockett from
United Way.
no,
From Mutual Aid?
he's gonna kill me. The health department.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm on the board of health, right?
Yes.
I should know this.
Yes.
So he and collaborated, I believe, with maybe MCCUH, or I don't know who all was behind it, but there was a behavioral health summit, and it was amazing to see excuse me, some of our key stakeholders in the community come together, and it was like there was no egos, there was no it was amazing to see, and everybody came to work. It was absolutely dynamic, and I think we're going to see fruit from that. I really do.
That would have been amazing just to see in itself.
Yeah, it was cool.
When people leave their egos outside the door and get ready to work.
right.
And that's the way it
It's
was. And
wonderful.
it was, we have this common thing. And I think that's the key. When you find that common area and we say, okay, what does this look like? How is this going to affect you? How is this going to affect you? How is this going to affect me? And then if we find out, it's just like if I decided to serve a meal, I want to make sure you're not allergic. I want to make sure it's not going to offend you, right? That we can all sit down and enjoy this meal together. I know it's a really cheesy analogy, but that's the best way I can describe it. And what I saw at this summit was that everybody was focused on that one common area and saying, okay, what do we do? Because I'm telling you, again, Mace County, it's all here. We have everything we need.
So where do you get your resources from? And because you said all the resources we need, so what resources do we need? Where do we get
So
them
when
from?
I say resources in that sense, because there's like three different sets of resources, okay?
Okay.
So when I say there's all these resources, I'm talking programs and organizations and support systems. I mean, you name it, it's there. From counseling and medical and housing, sheltering, whatever it is, we have a big melting pot of that. That's for sure.
Okay.
Then there's the resources. That means funding.
Okay.
It means money. So where do I get my resources from? Mesa County community members and foundations. We write grants, and so we have to work hard at that. But we have been very blessed by this community alone to keep us operating and going. I always tell people we're a miracle we even exist because we're such a small staffed group that I don't have time to sit here all day and write grants.
Right.
I'm doing intakes. I'm doing other stuff too as well. So being able to see other funders recognize who we are and what we do, and the opportunity to write those grants and be awarded that funding, that's what keeps us afloat. You know, we've been operating now, it'll be 10 years in November, and we've only had one fundraiser.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's not
That's
because
impressive.
that's not because we didn't want to. We just didn't have time.
Right.
Right.
You know,
You're busy doing the job.
busy doing the work. Yeah, and we're gonna do the work.
Yeah.
That's
So
That's
what
who
do
we
you
are.
what do you think about city council being involved, and what should be their role in?
That's a
in
good
helping
question.
the
I
community?
I really believe that as far as city council supporting those of us who are direct service providers, my personal, just fund us and let us do the work.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I mean, yeah, we need to hold some kind of accountability, and they need to see, you know, what we are delivering. They need to see what we are actually doing, and we need to be in alignment with the laws and regulations of our community and
They
our
need
city.
to come inside these doors.
But they have, and I'm very honored that even our new city manager was here, and I was able to give him a tour and show him around.
Wonderful.
And I think he was impressed a little bit.
Oh,
but
I think
I'm
so
sure.
too.
I don't know.
Well,
But he had to
make
cut it short because he's busy,
Yeah.
you know. So I've had city councilmen in here, and I think that's it, that one-on-one and being listened to.
Mm-hmm.
That is so key.
That's key.
There's nothing worse than feeling like I'm just constantly spitting in the wind. I'm tired of spitting in the wind, you know. But to be able to sit down one-on-one and have these conversations, I'm very excited about sitting down with Faith and talking to her and saying, okay, how can we partner? How can we work together? And even though, and I'm more than willing to sit down and say, hey, let me help you execute this. Let me help you come up with a plan. Let me help you. I want to be a part of that,
Right.
you know, but my time is very limited.
That's
You
what I
know.
said. We need to clone you.
it would help.
Excuse me.
Is there any area in the services that are provided in Grand Junction that you feel is lacking or needs to be focused on more? That would be helpful without, you know, like the one area I think would probably be transportation.
Transportation is huge, and I've heard that a lot. You're not the only one to say that, and there's other providers saying the same thing. Transportation is hard, and I understand where they're coming from as far as coming up with a new plan for the resource center, because no one wants to go to a job interview and smell.
Right.
You need a shower, you know, you need proper rest. I mean, you need to eat. We know all the basics, right? And so meeting just basic human needs. Transportation is huge. And again, what's the biggest problem that we have? Housing. Affordable housing.
Right.
Right.
And so we've had a lot here lately of elderly people who are being evicted. And so what do you do? Where am I going to put them? You know, and so that's the multi-million-dollar golden question. And I know people are aware of this, but it is a need. You asked me where I saw gaps, and housing is huge. Affordable housing is huge. It really is. And dual diagnosis treatment is huge. And so you can get one or the other, but when we combine them and they're able to work with substance abuse and mental health issues at the same time, we've sent a lot of our guests to Denver and the treatment centers over there. And when I tell you night and day, it is night and day. We've seen people completely in psychosis and totally manic, and after about 4 months, holding down jobs for 3 years.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Good.
Very impressive.
So is it better to just let them go to Denver? Is it something we should be doing here? Or?
I think it's going to happen here. I really do. Again, like I said, that's a part of turning that corner. So I think as we turn the corner, we're going to see different stuff coming in alignment in different areas and programs and services that are needed.
And
so
where-
eventually we will get there.
Where will we see that come from, do you think?
I
Is it
think
from Mason
Health
County Health
Solutions.
Department?
I think it's Health Solutions and definitely the Health Department as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, what else would you like to tell us? Because I could talk to you all day.
And we know your time is valuable.
Well,
so.
I appreciate you guys so much. I'm honored to be here and to share with you guys. I think that, I don't know. I mean, my brain is constantly.
Yeah, it's good though. I mean,
Yeah.
it just feels like you're going, there's a need. How could we fix that? Without
And that's how I
without
operate.
imposing the fix. Because
Yes.
sometimes what my tendency is I see the need, but I want to fix it my way, not necessarily
the
what
best
works
way for the
you.
person
Right.
and what's best for them. And I think, like I said, that's why we've had to step back and change our process of how we do things, right? Because we can't just be a Band-Aid anymore and a quick fix. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
We have to take care of the whole person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else, Ruth?
I
wasn't
don't.
going to talk because
I mean,
your voice
I'm
hurts.
like you. I could talk to Mona all day long and learn something new every time she opened her mouth. That's just the way it is.
The problem
But-
is you're talking to older people who know it, and then 10 minutes later we'll say,
What did
say?"
she say? I'm going to play that back again.
Write that
I
down.
do
Oh, no,
that
no,
too.
no.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm a note taker because I might miss something or I have someone else with me because two of us
I see
take
your
notes.
computer's that way. Mine is the same way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
little
it is
little
that way.
stickies.
And I have all my stickies lined up and all my little reminders, but I love what I do. I love this community. And I've been here 36 years. And so I absolutely love Grand Junction. I love Mesa County. It's home. It's been my home. I grew up as an adult here. And so anything I can do to give back into this community, I want to do that.
The community loves you too, Mona.
Thank you.
Well, we can see that from her
Absolutely.
awards.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And I don't do it for that.
I know.
At
I
all,
know.
you know, it's I thought the other day, I actually thought I'm going to come here and take all this stuff down.
No.
And I just thought, I don't know. So
Nope. You're just love. Might as well acknowledge it.
Just enjoy it.
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Well, you've been watching Mesa County Compass. This is the facts as we know them, the truth as we see it. You decide.
Thank you,
Thank
Mona,
you.
so much for your time.
Thank you. You guys
Everything
are
is
awesome.
so